Okay stars Zoe Deutsch, Mia Isaac, and Dylan O'Brien. It is a movie that is out on Hulu as we speak. An ambitious young woman, desperate for followers and fame, fakes a trip to Paris to up her social media presence. When a terrifying incident takes place in the real world and becomes part of her imaginary trip, her white lie becomes a moral quandary that offers her all the attention she's wanted. I thought Zoe Deutsch was really good in this movie. I think the problem that I had with casting Zoe Deutsch, though, is that when you look at Zoe Deutsch, I mean, she's beautiful. Like, you wouldn't think of her as a person like this. Found less believability in the character because it was Zoe Deutsch, but Zoe Deutsch does harness all of those insecurities that this character is manifesting inside to a great degree, and she does a great job in this movie. It is a well-made movie as well. It's well-directed, the cinematography is pretty good. There are a couple of green screen shots where I was just like, oh, that's ugly. But other than that, I thought it was well put together. I thought that the idea was there, and the direction was great. Mia Isaac is also a standout in this movie. She plays the best character in the entire movie. The intentions behind the movie are good. It definitely speaks on our dependency on social media influencers and what we want to do with our own social media clout and how we can try and get clout. And if you feel like you are a big social media presence, this movie really shows how fame can really get to your head. And I like that idea. It's a movie that just wasn't for me. While it does portray the influence social media has on individuals and the dependency that young adults and adults themselves have on social media, this movie just feels very manipulative. I don't really say that all that much about these types of movies, but it did. It felt very manipulative. It felt like saying like, nope, this behavior is totally okay. You can be the one to get yourself social media clout by saying that you're at a fake terrorist attack. Like, who the fuck would do that? Like, that is just mentally and morally wrong. And the movie's saying like, nah, that's okay, do it. Sure, there are lessons to be learned at the end of this movie. The main character herself, she learns a lesson, which, by the way, I also found it hard to get into this movie because of how unlikable she was. There's even a content warning at the beginning of this movie that says the movie features an unlikable female protagonist. So if you're already warning me about a character that's unlikable, why am I even going to care in the end? And quite frankly, I really didn't. Having a character like that just proved how manipulative this movie is. Having characters that think they're in the clear, but doing something that is morally ambiguous. If that was more subtle, I probably wouldn't be saying anything about it. But when it does get manipulative like that, I'm not one to call out a movie like that. But when it's noticeable, I notice, and I noticed it big time. It is so on the nose in this movie. It just wasn't my type of thing. I found myself very strained for attention in this movie. I was more focused on the MLB trading deadline than watching this movie. It feels like there's so many lulls in this movie. There are sequences that feel very interesting, trying to hammer home this concept of social media dependency, and those were the most interesting aspects of the film. But when there are little lulls in the film, when, I mean, you're dealing with Dylan O'Brien. I like Dylan O'Brien a lot. He's a total waste in this movie. When you're dealing with stuff with his character and this whole subplot with this other character, it just completely lost me. I just became disinterested in this movie, and the main character made it hard to care for her in the slightest. In the end, I'm going to say I enjoyed Not Okay with a stale bucket of popcorn. It's not going to be in the running for worst movie of the year. I don't even think it's going to make the top 10 worst movies of the year list for me, but it just wasn't my thing. Not my cup of tea. Other people may see it differently. It's gotten pretty decent reviews. I just disagree on this one. So guys, have you seen Okay? It's out on Hulu now. If you have, what did you think of the movie? Drop me a comment in the comment section below with your thoughts. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.